Alright guys, welcome back to another reaction video. We have a real banger on our hands. I have seen this video appear in my feed. It's why I love the Vtuber community, a warning to new Vtubers. She's probably gonna talk about the same things that I have complaints about. I guess. I hope so. If not, then it's gonna probably add to what I dislike about this community. Even though I love it. It's like a love-hate boner. Anyways, guys, you should also consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. I appreciate the support. I'm trying to grow this. I'll be honest. I'm always, I'm always fully transparent. I'm trying to grow this into a career. You can help me with that. Let's get moving.
Oh, this is gonna be fucking interesting. I don't even fucking know what the hell I'm doing. This is a rant, okay? This is not some freaking
I love
Sunny
rants.
V2 bullshit, okay? Yo.
Sunny V2, isn't that the chick? Isn't that the chick that, like... Wait a minute. Let me Google that. I don't know who that is. That's not a chick, that's a guy.
Into the void of the internet after my long hiatus. I'm here
the longer hiatus.
Against the wall
about a year, just uploading quorum and stuff.
Toxic relationship for the past 2 years makes me want to blast old school Melanie
Small,
Martinez at 4
short,
a.m. like
2-minute videos.
In high school again. Aside from a thinly veiled attempt to let my own voice be heard about how badly this community has further fucked up my mental health as well as others, I also genuinely want this to be a warning to anybody.
Also, aren't you technically still a VTuber? How are you leaving the VTubing community? Wouldn't you need to stop being a VTuber? Just asking.
Has plans regarding to becoming a VTuber, because I wish I knew this shit like 2 years ago.
We're past that moment. I've been in like now for 4 months.
So
we're over that shit.
Just to clear this up right off the bat, when I say
get it, because she's the bat. She also has hashtag bats and hashtag gal as a hashtag.
I'm not talking about viewers who like watch our content. I'm talking about the community of virtual content creators, mainly on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. Elon can fucking fight me.
I also don't call it X. I call it Twitter. Yeah, most of the drama that happens in the VTubing community is usually on Twitter or Discord. Never on YouTube.
Talking and posting in a bubble amongst themselves, interacting with each other more than the average viewer. I joined the VTuber community in October of 2021. That is
April 2024.
Long fucking years of watching the mask slip. While my content creation has been
and the mask has in fact slipped. There were a couple of people where the mask has in fact slipped.
Throughout the current length of my streaming career, due to health and school complications, I have always done my best to stay involved with the community itself, up until recently. They made me feel included. They were always boasting about how...
Disagree. I feel like the viewers have included me more in this community than the people in this community. Mainly because I have two disadvantages. I am a man. That's one disadvantage. And I have controversial opinions and I'm not scared to say them. That's the second disadvantage. Though it has gained me a significant amount of followers for some reason. I don't know, maybe you guys do enjoy people who do not hide to their opinions. I don't know. Let me know in the comments.
They wanted to shout out new VTubers and give them a platform and how they supported minorities.
That's a lie, and that's also a lie. The people that want to shout out small VTubers, it's engagement bait. It's always been engagement bait. The people that are asking for friends like engagement bait. There's a lot of engagement bait in this community. And support for minorities. Only when it's big and important. Only to gain clout. Only to, and only as long as it doesn't affect your favorite gacha game, because, VTuber, being for the support of trans people, or being for the support of gay people, or being support for people of color, but then playing Genshin Impact, because, as much as you want to defend minorities, you love your little anime boys.
and how they were boasting about the community was so open and
Red
caring
flag.
and, you know, all
Red
this
flag.
amazing stuff.
Red flag. Clearly.
Just to realize that it was all fake, a ploy to use as many people as possible in order to climb the chaotic Jenga tower that it is to be a successful VTuber. Long story short, this community doesn't care who they need to step on or step over to get more followers. Now you're probably sitting
That
here
is
going,
pretty much normal.
but Zyla, that's the internet in general.
Yeah. Yeah. But Zyla, it's a lot worse in the VTubing community than it is in any other community. I've been in the Monster Hunter community, the Pokemon community, let's play community, if you could consider that a let's play, if there is a let's play community. It is not as bad in those communities as it is ever in the VTubing community.
And yeah, you're right. But the reason why I'm pointing this out is because the VTuber community has itself up on a high horse.
Yeah, we're not like others. We're all cozy and little good people. Proceeds to be racist and sexist towards men. Proceeds to be proceeds to harass somebody. Proceeds to stop talking to somebody because they got more successful.
Of this bad
Cozy
behavior
VTuber,
when
by
they're
the way.
actually the example. Before we get further into this, I do want it to be known that I will not be doing any name dropping, going into specifics on certain VTubers or events, for examples, because this is a community issue, and I don't want to single anybody out. So you will have to take all of this with a grain of salt. You know, this is my experience. Yours might be different. That's understandable.
It is
whatever,
it is different.
So let's just get into like the overall.
Because I have not experienced it. I just have like observed it. Entitlement to other people. Yeah,
sure. I know
sure.
it's been said before, but
that happens.
I do genuinely think a very large part of the community has this idea that if they spend a lot of money on a hat, bro. That if they spend a lot of money on a hot-ass VTuber model with big...
That will not guarantee success. I use a V-Roid. I used a PNG before that. It will not guarantee you success. Well, except if you're Alara and have a breast inflation redeem. Yeah, there's a VTuber, a drama tuber, who has breast inflation as a redeem. That's wild. But like, no, it does not guarantee you success in any way, shape, or form. What guarantees you success is hard work, a good personality. I don't know if I have that. Let me know if I do. Obviously, the content needs to be there. Maybe a little bit of unhinged does help.
Big booba.
And just be authentic.
Success. You know, thousands of views, subs, diehard fans, and being set for life, even if they deny it. That's what they thought. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with...
And I won't deny it. I want to do content creation as a job. I want to be a YouTuber or a VTuber. Like, I'm not denying that. And I would never. I am upfront with my intentions, and you can decide, do you want to support this goal or do you not want to support this goal? That is your decision. You guys, the viewer. I'm upfront about it. And a lot of them aren't, which is why they stop off even before they reach 2 years. Graduate, use the same type of wording each time, and yeah, because when we look at graduations, they take place almost 2 years, like never after 2 years, almost never, at least for the smaller indie VTubers, and they have the same wording, either no time or either wanting to pursue other dreams. Funny enough that this was your original dream, but you didn't grow the way you wanted, so you stopped. Even though this is not a race, this is a marathon.
Wanting to do content creation as a job, but you need to be realistic.
Though I have turned it into a race by uploading 4 videos a day.
And a lot of VTubers just aren't. Between you and me, they seem a little bitter, actually.
Kinda not. It's difficult, cause like, you can tell that they become bitter right before they give up. You can also tell that... You can also not like, tell that they will never say it. They would not say that they're bitter about failing. And remember, guys, this goes for everything you do, by the way. You have only failed if you give up, so don't give up, and you have not failed. You can even become a successful VTuber at 40.
A little information about me. I personally became a VTuber because I was fucking lonely. I was in a dark...
I became a VTuber because... I just needed something additional. Like, something in the background. And I thought adding, like, the VTuber part feels exactly that. Something to, like... I don't want to use, like, put my face out there. So I think that was, like, the way to go, and it seemed to have worked. So, it was the right decision. Not that I'm gonna interact a lot with the community, though, because, like, my god, a lot of you content creators actually suck, because you are fake persona. You are scared to do anything that might upset Twitter.
Place in my life.
I'm not part of that.
I thought,
I will upset Twitter.
I
have upset Twitter. I even upset VTuber Twitter by saying that I do not like loot-tubers, and you will be blocked on sight. Even the wholesome VTubers didn't take that well. I said that I don't like people who are sex workers. You will be instantly blocked if you are a VTuber also. They didn't like that either. They didn't like that one bit.
Myself to
but I don't
play
care.
Games, do art, the things I enjoy, while
there are things that I don't support, and that's okay.
Not being alone. A fun way to force myself to be productive again, and it worked for a while. Other people, however, it seemed that once they realized that expensive VTuber model doesn't always equal success right off the bat, they suddenly got real fucking
bad. Part 2, because she's a bat.
At anybody who was doing well. We're talking genuinely wanting to see people fail or get hurt. It almost felt like, to them...
It's not just wanting to see them fail. The moment they do fail, they're gonna make their failure into content to farm some followers.
Watching a bigger streamer fail meant that their audience would come down to the people with less viewers.
You know the meme where there's like a big long pipe and there's like one guy drinking a lot of water and then there's like this thin guy just getting a job? That's some VTubers out there, except that the one guy drinking all the water has worked really hard and the one guy drinking just a drop hasn't put in the work yet.
When that's not how that works at all, you still need a good personality and the drive to post content, you dumb. But really,
dumb bitch.
They actively hope that bad things will happen to bigger streamers. They'll go off on rants about how they don't think these people deserve the following they have. And usually the one bitching about how unfair it is being the one who doesn't post content.
I do that too, but that's mostly towards bad people I know are bad. Fruit. I think Merryweather, I have a bone to pick with him because he's like acting like he's a small content creator, and my brother in Christ, you are not a small content creator. You are because if you are a small content creator, what am I then? A micro creator?
Posts to other platforms or does anything to build their audience aside from bitching on Twitter. But I'm sure that has nothing to do with it.
Or streaming 8 hours a day with to like 2 people for months instead of doing actual content that people want to watch, like go on YouTube, you dumb idiot, and upload some videos. Clip yourself. Upload those clips. Do something.
I've seen people go as far as to cry that big corporate VTubers are all assholes and terrible because they don't bring on smaller streamers for
Yeah, of course. Bring on a smaller streamer that has no obligation to follow some rules and then can say some heinous shit on your stream and you get punished for it. Also, I don't like the sentiment of, if I were a big content creator, why is it my responsibility to make a different person successful when I worked super hard to get here? It's not my responsibility to help a smaller creator. I would help a smaller creator provide something that I can use, and I promote the smaller creator. For example, if you do some art stuff for me, I will promote you. So there's like there's an equal exchange.
Collabs. You know, just let random people you don't know onto your stream and just hope that they don't do or say anything to get you in trouble with, oh, I don't know, Twitch, your partners, Vtuber Corporation, your sponsors, you know.
I mean, Twitch at this point has a point. Well, YouTube also. They both have a bone to pick with VTubers for some reason.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. I'm sure that won't backfire at all. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves here. They usually stream with other big streamers because those people also have a lot to lose if they piss off the platforms they stream on.
Exactly, you got the point.
Or at least
but they don't get the point.
In a VTuber setting. Because for them, that is their job. Besides, why the fuck would anybody want to hang out with some random person they don't know who's demanding, rather rudely, that they are somehow entitled to your time and space? I know I fucking wouldn't. Like, block.
If you worked really hard and you became successful, it is not your obligation to have smaller creators get more successful. Put in the work harder, and work to the point where you are successful.
Like, what? It's not being mean.
There's nobody out there that will help you.
And besides, you all sitting here yelling about how mean and terrible big streamers are for not rolling out the red carpet for a person they don't know. Don't act like you're some innocent fucking victim. You look dumb. Because it is beyond clear that you only want to stream with these bigger creators to build a following for yourself off their
Basically,
back. You just
pretty
want to
much.
use them. It genuinely does feel like every other person in this community has main character syndrome and they somehow think they're entitled to...
I have main character syndrome, but only for my own life. For everybody else, I'm a side character. The closest I can get to is probably like Vegeta.
Other people's time, space, money, and energy. Speaking about that, let's talk about boundaries or the lack of them. This does tie into the last point, but it does need its own section because holy fuck. The amount of motherfuckers who think that the VTubing scene is some form of speed dating is insane.
I have to say that's dudes. It might be women as well, cause like there's a lot of social reject women in here. Sorry, ladies. You have to accept the fact that you may be a social reject. But there's also a lot of dudes who only who only want female friends. Yeah, friends. Let's put that in quotes.
Like, why are you here? What? Go on OkCupid and creep people out over there, okay? At least.
Why OkCupid? Well, thinking about that, you probably have used that app, right? The only thing you get on OkCupid are Asian girls. Not worth it.
And I'm not talking about parasocial viewers here. I'd actually prefer that over this bullshit. Imagine this, okay?
I don't have that problem yet. I don't have parasocial viewers.
Other streamer, you get along, kind of hit it off. Maybe you have a few calls and servers with other streamers you're both mutuals with, you know? Have a good time, and you finally decide, hey, you're pretty chill. I either consider you a friend or at least a very somewhat trusted mutual. Let's do a collab together. Then suddenly, this person decides...
Yeah, this person decides that... Yeah, I want to this person decides, yeah, let you wanna get impregnated? you wanna date? But it's not just like it's also obviously viewers, but like I think content creators even worse.
That means you want to date them. You, a streamer, collabing with another streamer, basically the equivalent of a group project for your shitty 9-to-5, suddenly means to them that you want to date them. My voice died at that, it's so stupid.
Totally makes sense. I'll also go to a woman, shake her hands, and then say, let's have sex. Oh my god, dude. That was a joke, by the way. That was a joke.
And the next thing you know, they're telling all your mutual friends. You got other VTubers feed into their delusion.
And let me guess. The moment you say no, they cry about it on Twitter, and then you have to explain yourself why you said no.
They won't take no for a fucking answer because,
Fucking.
oh, but we get along so well. Everyone thinks we'd be so great together. But,
God, I hate viewers that ship. Why do as a viewer, do you ship your favorite content creators?
Want to lose a friend, or you don't want to cause drama, and you're thinking this is just a misunderstanding.
Just go and ship your My Hero Academia characters.
It's fine.
My God.
So you try to be civil about it. It keeps going downhill for 3 fucking months until it gets so uncomfortable and toxic that you just cut them off completely. And now suddenly, you're the bad guy. And your personal issues with somebody who wouldn't take no for a fucking answer.
That is obvious. That is very, like, oddly specific. Are you implying that happened to you?
Is suddenly posted all over Twitter. People are, for some reason, demanding you explain to them why you said no. Alright, then, you do that, okay? 6 more times in 8 months, okay? Doesn't sound fun, right? And for full transparency, this is not my personal experience, but the frequency...
Then why was it so oddly specific? She's hiding something, guys.
That I've watched this
I know it.
In my own circle and the community at large is, what's the word? Disgusting. And this bullshit with people trying to turn every person they stream with into a dating sim, then going
Why do you not know how to flush a toilet?
Genuinely does get to the point where it's harassment in some cases. And I'm bringing this up because this is almost normal.
This also reminds me of Evil Toaster. A bit.
It happens constantly, and it's just looked at as normal. Because I don't know about you, but I'm here to make content, not deal with this fucking preschool drama.
Most of it is preschool drama. I am a firm believer that a lot of VTuber drama happens because people fake their personalities, and the moment they slip, people start crying about it. I'm a firm believer of that. That is the result of faking your personality.
The lack of boundaries doesn't end with that. Love bombing's a huge issue in this community. I never once went into any interaction with the idea of using someone. Every person that I've called a friend, I do genuinely see them as...
I did. Not specifically in this community, but in real life. For example, in school, I tried to sit next to the person who was really good, for example, in math, so they could basically, like, what's the word? Like, push my maths grades. I didn't like them. I just did it because it was necessary to survive.
Even if we don't communicate anymore. So when I found out just how common it was in this community to just tell people what they want to hear, of course for friends,
I tell people what you don't want to hear. I am a meanie. I will say what I think. For example, I don't like LootTubers. I will block most LootTubers. They create some of the most horrible communities on the earth. I also don't like sex workers. I will block you as well and make fun of you. Some people cry about it that I do that. Even some people that are not, like, even the wholesome streamers. Wholesome. I don't care. I'll just say what my opinion, and that's it.
You're like
I don't care.
To me. Just to disappear
Let me cook.
And use people as stepping stones or throw them under the bus the second they're no longer convenient broke my fucking heart. Because there's some genuinely great people.
Or they job you the moment you get a little bit more successful. Didn't happen to me, but I've seen a few tweets.
Seen this be such a constant issue in any other community I've been in aside from VTubing. And this shit's a two-way street. You aren't going to be super close or even friends with every single person you collab with. That's just how it is. It's a job for a lot of people. And a lot of people need to learn that if someone doesn't want to interact with you further than a work relationship, you need to fucking respect that. But you can't just pretend to be someone's friend either. It is a very normal and well-known occurrence in this community that people are going to befriend each other, let them open up just to leverage what they can use against them later on. Both sides are very shitty. Honesty is a very unknown concept in the Underdark known as the Vtuber community. Motherfuckers got me rolling for insight 5 times a day. Okay, listen, listen. I joke about it here and there, but I don't make it a big part of my content, so I'm saying this right now, okay? I'm a woman kisser, okay?
You shouldn't make it a part of the content who you want to sleep with. Like, it's great, but I don't care. Because the people that make it their personality or their content... Man, I don't want to be around you. That's a red flag. If that is your whole personality, that is all you do is talk about who you want to sleep with. Like, no, I don't think so. Or like, what you identify as, man, I don't care. Couldn't care less. I'd much rather want to know what is the content of your character. Like, what was the last good thing you did? Like, I don't know.
We're
Anything
talking about
else.
this. You know,
Because
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna lie. For the
care.
first half a year or so, I felt pretty safe as an LGBT girly in the VTuber community. That is until some mutuals of mine and myself started to notice a few fucky wucky things going on. It became very apparent that what seemed like support started to stink bad, kind of like that stack of dishes in your depression room. We started
That's, again, oddly specific.
to notice a very large amount of people that only had something to say about minority or world issues as long as it was trending.
Yeah.
And they could
We can take trans issues. We can take what, like Gaza and stuff. Do you really care about that? Do you if you Gaza is not a reason to cancel McDonald's. The reason to cancel McDonald's is because the shitty conditions for animals. And no, I'm not one to say like don't eat meat. I eat meat. I love meat. But like at least use a good reason.
could attach a bunch of hashtags to it, you know, using their minority mutuals or friends as clickbait for clout during months dedicated to a certain group, only to then use those same posts to cover up their own.
I don't do that. To me, I treat everybody equally. The moment I don't treat somebody equally is because when like on an individual level, when they fuck up. But like, I don't put anybody on a podest, like on a like podium. I won't put anybody on a extra protection. I don't put anybody like. I just treat everybody the same. And I've seen people that don't like that I'm treating, for example, like that I don't treat like minorities as victims. I refuse to treat minorities as victims, because if you treat minorities if you treat people that are part of minorities as victims, you are reinforcing the stereotype that they are victims of society. You give them the mindset that they are victims of society, which has horrible consequences for their growth. I will never tell, for example, if I have a black student in the future, I will never tell that black student that he's a victim of the white man. I will not do that. I refuse to do that. Stunting that person's stopping that person's growth. I am harmful to that child. I am harmful to that woman. I am harmful to that man, or whatever you identify as. I hate this victimization bullshit. Because eventually it will result in people not putting that much effort into things, because, you know, they can never achieve their dreams because society is against them. Eventually, even when they make mistakes that even... Wait. My head needs to recalibrate. Even if they make mistakes that can be traced back to their own mistakes, they will deflect and blame it on somebody else, which is the white man, the straight man, the man. I don't victimize. And if you catch hands, you catch hands because you're a terrible person. Nothing more to add to it.
Bad behavior later on. No, Twitter officer, I can't be a bad person. I tweeted on November 15th of 2022 that homophobia is bad. Therefore, anything I did or said afterwards doesn't count. The part that...
In reverse, if you said the N-word 5 years on Twitter, I don't care. I just don't care. If you did say it up to this point now, or you're not constantly using it, man, I don't care. And I don't think most black people care. Because I think most people have bigger problems than that. Or you ever had something that could be considered remotely... If you said something that could be considered remotely, like, phobic of anything, I don't care that much. I don't care that. I really don't care that much. I only care if it's like directly directed at a person. For example, Bob being sexist towards another streamer and racist. That is something that I care about then, because then it's directed towards a person. But using the N-word randomly or using a meme that like had the N-word, man, I don't care.
What really pisses me off though is the constant habit.
Because we also need to like take a look at like context. I'm a firm believer that context matters. Boasting the N-word on Twitter with nobody directed at anybody is not racist. I think that you shouldn't use the word. I also think that black people shouldn't use the word. Because, like, why do you claim one of the most dehumanizing terms on earth as your own? Why do you do that? Nobody should be using that word.
Talking over minorities and telling us what we should be upset about. Now, this has been brought up with
this happened a lot
VTubing,
also during the Black Lives Matter era, where there were where eventually like the demonstrations and stuff eventually just became white. So eventually was then I saw an interview where like a dude interviewed a black person, and then a white person came along and said, you cannot talk to that person. That's what we're having right now in society. It's the white savior complex, I would call it, that a lot of people have. And like, I'm gonna be offended on your behalf.
But I'm only going to speak on the side of LGBT here because it's not my place to speak about the race issues, since I'm...
Disagree. Even if you are white, you can talk about race issues, and there's a good reason for it. As if it's not personal experience, obviously you cannot diminish somebody's personal experience. But if something that is based on data, for example, black people do in fact have a big problem, like the black community has a big problem with fathers staying around their kids. They have a big problem with crime, over proportionate. Then you can talk about it, and you need to talk about it, because race issues are a like international issue or a national issue, not an issue for the specific community. Because if I cannot speak on issues that pertain, for example, to black people, then we gotta have a problem. It's like saying I cannot talk about issues for women because I'm not a woman. In this case, if somebody decides to like make the pill illegal again, and then I as a man am not allowed to go against that? Because that's the funny part. You want us as men not to interfere with like issues that pertain to women, but that at the same time you want our support. That's not how it works. So yeah, you can talk about issues that are data based, I would say. Whether it doesn't matter.
Yeah, anyways, there have been...
If like, I don't know, for some reason in the next 10 years the crime rate between between white people heavily increases, then you as a black person, if you're watching this and you're a black person, you are allowed to talk about this and criticize it. And you can help. You are allowed to help fix it. It's okay.
Been numerous occasions
just like it's okay for a white person to talk about black issues.
The LGBT community has come up with a streamer doing or saying something shitty. And while I do genuinely believe that terrible behavior should be called out, that's not what this is anymore. I have seen so many times in
there's a difference between terrible behavior and people just attacking somebody for like minor things, like
someone will get accused of being an asshat, they provide evidence against it, and yet the VTubing community just pretends they don't see the evidence.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
It doesn't exist. This post can't bother me because I can't read. You know, that kind of bullshit? Because why admit that you might be wrong when you can just feed into the mass rage and get easy followers from it? Or even worse, there have been times where members of the LGBT community itself will say, hey, you know, it's okay, we don't think it's offensive, it's not that big a deal, guys. And then suddenly we're being turned on by the people who apparently care about us so much, while they're sitting over there sending
I'm offended on your behalf.
Which doesn't help.
That's what it is.
That makes shit fucking worse. You aren't helping us. But that doesn't matter because the point of you doing this isn't because you want to help, is it? And while a lot of people acting like this in the community that I've noticed are not LGBT, there are definitely LGBT people who jump on this. And I want to say something directly to you, okay? Everything else aside real fast. I get it. I understand. The world is shitty for us right now, especially for our trans.
World is shitty all around.
People online can try to ignore it or say that we're overreacting, but 140 anti-trans bills is not something we're exaggerating. Rising violence and homicide against people just trying to live their lives is...
There is no data and evidence to support that has been a rise in, like, attacks against LGBTQ people, and if there is a rise, I'm questioning from who those crimes are committed. You wouldn't like that either, at least in Europe. You wouldn't like that if I showed you the statistics for that. Because it's not white people or black people. It's not Christians.
It's very real. You have a right to be upset. You should be upset. I am too, but...
You should be upset about things that matter. And most things that happen on Twitter do not.
The issue here is that misdirecting it is causing more harm than good for everyone involved. And I do really think that's what it is. I think that the reason why you're joining in on this anger with people who are using our community for clout and rage bait is because you're scared. You are rightfully scared and angry, but you don't have the ability to direct that at people who are actually causing the harm. So it's getting taken out on a different outlet. It's getting taken out on people who have nothing to do with the shitty decisions being done. It's getting taken out on people playing certain video games or watching shows or listening to certain music. The world is shitty. People need to have a little...
That reminds me of the one video we watched where, like, men are single. Why are men single? The music they listen to speaks very derogatory.
bit of ignorance to enjoy things and not be depressed constantly. And that's okay. As long as someone is self-aware and they're not actively making excuses for bad behavior, that's fine. It is not the be-all tell-all to decide if someone's a good person or not. I mean, Disney was an absolute piece of shit, but I'm not going to sit here and accuse someone...
The company now is even more a piece of shit, because now they're not shitting on you, now they're using you for money instead.
Who went to Disneyland for a vacation, they agree with all
you just lose again.
Deep love for the movies that I grew up with. I can point out and admit that they're real shitty in some cases, but watching them doesn't mean that I condone the assholes who made them. And again, the most viewed videos or posts that I have...
I cannot get the idea of watching a show and analyzing the show of how bigoted it is. There are people out there that do this. I just watch a show.
Personally seen that are flat
and don't
out
care.
Going, you can't play this game or watch this movie or listen to this music because that'll make you a bigot. They're not.
You know what my answer is to you are a bigot? I guess so. Moving on.
Usually LGBT people, they're quote unquote allies.
White saviors.
Fucking gears. Not only do these rage tweeters not give a flying fuck about us or our community, but
I call these white saviors
a bigger fucking target. Okay, we all knew that this was coming. Again, this can technically tie into all the other points I've made, but this does need its own subsection like the rest of them because what the flying fuck, you guys. I have been on the internet for a lot longer than I probably should have been. I've been on
Twitter for like 7 years.
Fandoms,
It has
shaped
me.
I was on Tumblr during the
It has
Sonic Social
changed
Justice
me.
era. I watched that all go down, and the FNAF artist who shall not be named. I have seen
I have no idea.
yet I have never seen another community that tears itself apart from the inside out.
Is she gonna talk about V-tweeters?
Vtuber community do, all while being so fucking giddy about it. Now, you may have heard the term V-tweeter before. VTubers who hardly.
No, it's VTubers who don't stream, in fact.
Stream and spend all of their time on Twitter,
yeah,
waiting with foam at the mouth to grab any piece of drama they can. And like I said before, the point of them doing this is jump on any issue or drama that's being talked about, so they can make a post going, well, I would never do that. Look at me. I'm such a good person. You should follow me. And this type of clout chasing got dangerous really fast. Because it went from calling out legitimate, terrible behavior and abuse to ruining people's lives over minor personal issues for like 5 extra followers. I have seen on more occasions than I have fingers on my hands at this point, situations where a VTuber has been accused of something, and no matter what the situation is, no matter how big or small it is, people not only instantly believe it without needing any evidence at all, but treat the issue as if the streamer flat out fucking killed someone, regardless of the severity of it. Death threats to them, their fans.
I wonder what her opinion is now with all the stuff happening, where we now live in a time where you are guilty until proven innocent. I wonder what her thoughts are now.
Doxing, you fucking
for example,
Tiger. I recall one situation where that started happening to somebody over being accused of stealing a design from someone simply for having similar color palettes. For fuck's sake. When you create this type of environment where...
I think that's a result of creating generic, models. Like there are 3 chicks that almost have the same model with minor differences, and they all appeared around the same time. It's like, yeah, nobody did steal anything. You just made generic designs.
You want to be in the majority's favor so that you can get easy followers, you need to be mad with them, regardless if you think the issue deserves the amount of backlash it's getting or not. That community is no longer safe. They will turn on you in an instant. No questions asked.
That's
your
why I
friend
don't
can make
care.
a lie about you because you piss them off on a random Tuesday, and suddenly you're the next target. Even if you know what's being said isn't true, nothing that you say or
I
show
will
them
stay
will
away
matter
from
because
everybody.
they've already decided that you're in
That
the
is
wrong.
my thing.
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it
the fuck up.
I agree that there are terrible people online who would be called out for their bullshit, mainly to make other would-be victims aware. But
my
that's
source
not
is I
what
made
this
it the
is anymore.
fuck up.
There's one
True.
incident that sticks out of my mind about this, and I'm sorry, but this is going to be vague. I debated on it for a while, but I finally decided that I wasn't going to drag specific people into this for many reasons.
You coward!
So again,
I'm just
grain
joking.
of salt. A rather large VTuber was accused of doing something pretty fucking shitty a few months back. Something that, when I first heard about it, I was upset. I admit that I believed it at first because of just how upset everyone was. And I was sad that another big streamer was copying a jackass. Because I genuinely don't understand why it's so hard to just not be terrible, you know?
Could've just said what it
But
was.
then, said streamer came back with proof that they didn't do what they were being accused of. Proof that you could personally check, by the way. Proof I did personally check, by the way. And they were telling the truth.
This reminds me of Pro Jared. Pro Jared, got like absolutely like destroyed. And then the man came back with the receipts. And the receipts prove that he was, in fact, not the monster that everybody made him out to be. And there's still people running around that still hate this man. For the reasons that were proven wrong.
And that's great. It was a misunderstanding, and there isn't another jackass in the community. That's great. That's a good thing, right? And not really. Not only did the Vtuber community on Twitter just completely ignore the proof, they pretended it just flat out didn't exist so that they could stay mad. Or even more asinine, people claim that the proof didn't matter. I even watched someone go as far as to just flat out make up random quotes the streamer never said, that the community on Twitter would then share around because no one bothers to check their fucking sources. But that's the game. They don't check their sources because they don't care. They ignore the evidence because they want to.
It's just clout. It's just clout. It's nothing else.
They pick whichever side helps them get more followers at the moment, not who's actually in the right. The lack of morals disgust me to no fucking end. So I left. About 8 months ago, I deleted Twitter from my phone. Only went on to post things here or there, like maybe once every 2 months. Don't check my feed, blocked VTuber tags on TikTok, you name it. Because I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with the toxic fake positivity to lure people in to use just when it's convenient.
Basically, yeah, she's correct. You're still a you still use a model though, so you're still a VTuber.
Just to get new followers.
And by that extension, you are still part of the VTubing community.
Doom and gloom, and the
you just don't interact with it anymore.
To try and bring up that something's wrong. And to be honest, I'm probably gonna lose some friends when I post this. But that's okay.
It is what it is.
I just want to be a virtual creator, not a VTuber. Not if this is what being a VTuber means now. I don't even think this will get a lot of views anyways, but
I don't think she expected almost 300,000 views, I guess.
I did want my voice to be heard before I walked out because I was honestly scared to say anything before.
And I enjoy being a VTuber because I can piss off people.
If you want to be a VTuber, do it. I'm not telling you not to with this. VTubing is a great way to meet more people like you, being more creative and having fun without having to worry about, real life issues. Because, we all need that escape sometimes. Like I said before, the world sucks. And if you do become a VTuber, please just remember my absolute rant
all around,
of a warning.
All around it sucks.
And don't let the VTuber community
right now, the
drag you down.
biggest problem isn't like any bigots or anything. Right now, I think right now the biggest problem society has is being able to pay their bill, financial issues, being able to survive. I think that's the biggest issue right now. And we should focus on that. So, anyways, right now,
just destroy way too many people already.
Yeah, that was a good video. That was a good video. Some points I agree, some points I disagree. But yeah, overall, that was a good video. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.